What's going on, guys? My name is Hostile Frog, otherwise known in RuneScape as OSRS Legend. So, at the end of 2025, I ended up remaxing. I was maxed before, Sailing came out. I finished maxing again just before the end of the year. So, for all of you guys, Happy New Year. I hope you guys had a great time. Hopefully, you're not too hungover. But here we are in 2026. What is my goals? So now that there's no more skilling, unless another skill comes out, I really want to get into bossing more. Besides the clan events that we have in my clan, Eternal Gems, uh, I really don't do a lot of bossing. Now, I do have a good amount of money, sure, but to be quite frank, a lot of that was from bonds. I bought a lot of bonds here and there just from, work. I, it's wasted money, sure, but it allowed me to get really good gear. However, I'm not going to be able to keep doing that forever. So I really want to get into bossing. The bossing aspect of the game is so fun and enjoyable. It's just I need to get better at it. There's raids, there's Desert Treasure 2 bosses, there's God Wars, um, hell, there's combat achievements. I mean, there's so much to do in this game that it's just a matter of doing it. For example, like your combat tasks, like eventually I want to be able to unlock master. I don't know about grandmaster. That might be a little bit too far down the road, but who knows? We really don't know until we try, right? So, as you can see on the right hand side of the screen, of my screen, your screen, you can see my bossing. So really the only things that stand out that are over 1,000 are my Kraken and Araxor kills. Other than that, I mean, you have 600 for Vorkath, you only have 400 for Zulrah. You got your just skilling boss, Temperos, well, what I did for fishing. Um, there's not a whole lot. Crazy Archaeologist, the only reason it's that high is because I got stuck at that boss in one of the clan events and was just literally not getting the drop that was needed to be able to complete that boss. So, what I did is I made this wheel of bosses. This wheel has all of the bosses that are currently in the game except the new Griffin boss. And then, as you can see, there's a little thing called Slayer boss. Trying to target a specific boss would be a little bit difficult. So what I did is I just put Slayer boss as its own category for basically including all the Slayer bosses in that one spin. What I will do if I do ever land on something like that is I will do Slayer until I get said boss, and then do it. So, for example, I get a Hellhound's task. I'm gonna go do Cerberus for whatever the wheel spin tells me to do. So, obviously, when it comes to Slayer bosses, there's going to be a set KC that no matter what I do, that's what the KC is going to be. However, I will still track all the stuff as if it was a normal like boss and kind of go through the drops that I get. Um, RuneLite has a really nice tool where it has a loot tracker, so you can track exactly what you were killing. For example, I was killing frost dragons to try to get these metal sheets while when they were still uh, quite expensive. I got really lucky at the beginning, but then my RNG just went down the hill really quickly, and I ended up only having 4 sheets off task with 1,000 kills. But to go back to this, basically, as you can see, you got your raids in there of TOA, Chambers. You got King Black Dragon, Royal Titans, Vorkath, Scurius. Uh, you got the Huacodal. I'm sorry if I butcher some names. You got Duke, etc. You guys get the point. Once I unlock enough points to get the Griffin boss, I will throw the Griffin boss into this rotation. And in a way, I guess I don't know if you can actually kill him without being on to Slayer task. So I guess in a way he would fall under the category of Slayer boss. Um, but the point is, I'm gonna spin this wheel. Whatever it lands on, I'm gonna go kill uh, for whatever the other wheel spins. So I'm just gonna throw an example. I do have a Scurious one already made from earlier, so I'll show you that one. But for an example, I will spin the wheel. And in this case, I land on Corp Beast. So that's the boss that I would have to go kill. Now, how do I classify like what I'm supposed to kill? I don't know if I can just type in Corp Beast. Yeah, okay. So, obviously, the big ticket items from Corp are these like arcane sigils, the Elysian, etc. Those are 1 in 1,000 for the two, and then 1 in 4,000 for the Elysian. That's going to be really hard to get. So, although they are a really high ticket item, I still will throw them into the list. However, there's going to be a little caveat where, let's say I land on Elysian, I'm going to have to kill Corp still probably 400 times. Maybe I'll just do whatever 100 like out of this. So maybe 495 just to be a little bit fair. Maybe just throw it to 500 just to make it even. I will also throw the arcane and the spectral on there. And if I were to land on that, again, there's going to be a little caveat, maybe 250 for those that I have to kill Corp 250 times. It's going to be a long process for bosses that are like that. However, I will also throw in random KCs where there's like 50 KC, 100 KC, etc. When I did the Scurious boss, which I totally butchered that, but when I did the Scurious boss earlier, just to kind of give it an idea of a spin, you have your Scurious spine, the long bone, curved bone, and obviously the pet. Spines are easy. They're 1 in 33. So just trying to land on one spine is it's gonna be quick. I don't want to make it just a quick bossing event. Although I do want to keep rotating through bosses, I don't want it to be quick like that. So what I did is I threw in the Scurious thing. If it loads, let me refresh the screen. Okay, we're back. That took a little bit for some reason to refresh. However, back to it. What I did is, as you can see, there's 5 Scurious spines. I threw that in there so that it would make it so it's a little bit more challenging to get done with said challenge of said boss. Um, but as you can also see, I threw in the curved bones. I threw in 2 long bones, 400 KC. I threw those in to make it so there's still the off chance that you land on something that's going to make you fight that boss for quite a bit. Curved Bone, I threw at 500 KC because it's a 1 in 5,000 item. As you can see here, it's a 1 in 5,000 chance. It's more rare than the Elysian for whatever reason. Now, I could be wrong on how these rates work. There might be some other sort of thing that it really is. However, in this case, I'm just looking at that. The more I do this, the more I'll get better at it. But again, I'm rambling. I apologize. Curve Bone, 500 KC, or Curve Bone will complete this challenge if I were to land on said item. 2 long bones, that's a 1 in 400. Again, maybe I'd throw it to a 1 long bone type of drop. Those are obviously items you don't want to land on, to be quite frank. Otherwise, you get the 100 KCs, the 150, 200, up to 400. So basically, if this was Scurious that I landed on for this wheel of bosses, I would spin the wheel. And in this case, 5 Scurious Spines. We now have what would be, obviously, the spin of the wheel. We have our challenge for basically the video. 5 Scurious Spines. This could go really quick. This could take a while. We don't know. That's the fun of it, and that's the challenge of it. And I want to continue to do something like this for as long as I'm able to do it. I really think this will help a lot in terms of just getting my experience with bossing up and really make it so, I can enjoy the game more. Um, there's times when I do the clan events where I just feel like almost left out, not necessarily because of the clan, but more because I don't know what I'm supposed to do at the boss. So it really deters me from wanting to jump in and join them for TOB, for example. I don't know what I'm doing. I have the concept of TOB, but I don't have the experience. But I'm really hoping as the weeks go by, the months go by, that I gain that experience and I'm able to really get into this game more and more. This is a game that I've played a really long time, but I enjoy this game. I will always come back to this game, and I just want to really just get better. So, again, I hope you guys had a great 2025 or whatever, New Year's. Um, I'm excited about what's going to happen in this 2026. Um, and yeah, I guess we'll see what happens in the next video. We'll see what we land on, what boss that we're going to be doing, and just go from there. Hope you have a great day.